Yujin lived an everyday life raising his brother, before the gates even appeared. But when monsters started coming out from the gates, he and his brother became estranged, and their lives changed. His brother became one of the strongest hunters, while Yujin was abhorred and ostracized by the public. Yujin gets to redeem himself when he gets the chance to go back in time before he awakens as a hunter. He plans to live a quiet life, but people, and even monsters, start to follow him, and they won't leave him alone. Gates started appearing all over the world. Researchers studied the phenomenon, but life moved on for everybody despite the concerns. The same applies to Yujin Han. Yujin takes a rest from loading boxes in the truck. His colleague throws him a bottle of water. His colleagues learns that Yujin is working hard to save money for his younger brother's college. With their parents passing at a young age, Yujin had to drop out of school to support them. Nice. Our MC's serious about responsibility. Yujin proudly shows a picture of his brother to his colleagues while praising how handsome, tall, good, and super talented that brother of his. His love for his brother became apparent as he droned on about how great he was. And we got an MC with a brother complex. He only stops when he remembers that his brother, Yuyun, will be getting out of classes early. In a different area, a handsome student sits inside the bus as he looks over the gate. This student is probably Yuyun, the object of Yujin's affection. Yujin talks with his colleagues regarding the booming moving business. Because people are moving because of the gates, Yujin looks at the gate in their area and realizes a noticeable change in the gate. Its original blue color has changed to red. Red is definitely bad news. With a loud thud, the truck they are on suddenly stopped. Yujin climbs off to look and sees a giant bird-like monster on top of their vehicle. With a swoosh, the beast attacks the truck, and Yujin sees a horde of flying monsters over the city. So, to explain a bit of the story's setting, the gates became portals leading to other dimensions that people later called dungeons. From those gates, monsters got through. It was also discovered that monsters could only get through if the dungeon wasn't cleared, causing monster overpopulation. Yes, they get overpopulated over time. This phenomenon where monsters come out is later called dungeon break, and if dungeon breaks coincide or break in great numbers, it is called dungeon shock. Returning to Yujin, he runs towards the monster with a stick and calls for his boss. I doubt a stick would do any good in this fight. Suddenly, the boss lady stops the bird-like monster from attacking with her bare hands. This girl is on fire. To give humans a chance to fight against these monsters, certain individuals have awakened. The awakened were later called hunters, responsible for hunting monsters and clearing the dungeons. With the existence of dungeons, hunters became the most essential occupation in the world. And as for Yujin's younger brother, Yuyun Han, the handsome young man from the bus stands amongst the monster's corpses. His hands are enveloped in black fire. Yujin's baby brother, whom he loves so dearly, became one of the world's strongest S-rank hunters that day, an OP character for a brother. 8 years have passed since the dungeon shock. Time skip. A woman shows her awakened powers in a show, explaining the status window and how it shows a list of skills a person can use. This person is Yumi, who has an affinity for mold and moss, and developed phytokinesis as she awakened. She became a hunter after the incident and joined a guild. They go to dungeons to find mana stones, rare gems only found in dungeons. With the existence of S-rank hunters, challenging dungeons can be cleared, and these are also more rewarding. Among them, Yuyun Han is one of the most famous S-rankers in Korea. He has created the Heian Guild and is known as the youngest guild master in the country. And at 25, he is already rich beyond belief, and there's no mention of Yujin. The program continues with an interview with Yumi, who expresses that E-rankers like her can only dream of becoming rich. The interview cuts to the news that this hunter, featured in Hunter Files' show, recently died in a dungeon raid. Oof, this reminds everyone that being a hunter comes with a great price. The TV droned on as an injured man listened in a crouched position. Wait, is this the MC? A gate is open in one area, and people are littered outside. A man wearing a red jacket complains to his boss about hiring an F-ranker wimp like Yujin Han in their raid. Yujin sits in a chair, looking down with 2 crutches beside him. He removes his mask as he acknowledges the complaining person. He's going to enter a dungeon in that condition? The boss stops the complainer from making more ruckus. The red jacket dude complains some more and said how Yujin gets to survive every raid, while the rest gets wiped out. He kept talking more crap, adding salt by mentioning how Yu Hyun abandoned Yu Jin. No. Yu Jin raised him into what he is today. How could he abandon his older brother? What happened in those 8 years? Seriously. Hearing this insult got Yu Jin all riled up. He grabbed the complainer. The complainer simply laughs and kicks Yu Jin in the chest. The guy mocks Yu Jin for thinking he can mess with a D-ranker like him. Yu Jin can only curse at him. Their team boss approaches Yu Jin and gives him a buff by hardening his bones. While this won't heal Yu Jin's legs, he can move more manageably in the following hours. The boss tells Yu Jin to ignore the other guy. Yu Jin can only grin and accept these words. Yu Jin apologizes to the boss for having to mediate between them and encourages the boss while he's at it. The boss smiles and gives his thanks. They both stood up, and the boss walked away and smacked the red jacket dude in the head. The boss scolds the guy for bullying Yu Jin and proudly says that Yu Jin's a walking encyclopedia on dungeons and monsters. Yu Jin's knowledge might save you one day. Yu Jin activates a skill and checks his influence. He confirms that guild leader Shop Wu Lim is under his influence. Yu Jin doesn't care if he gets called ominous or parasite, because those names are not entirely wrong. The guild leader calls for Yu Jin as they'll enter the dungeon. Yu Jin swears that he'll survive with his skill. I wonder what his skill actually does. Inside the dungeon, hunters are fighting monsters using their skills. The boss reminds them to be careful, while the others are busy with the hunt. Yu Jin is busy mining for mana stones. The red jacket dude tells him to keep up, since the guild will take 80% of everything he digs up. He's basically working for scraps. As the rude guy kept saying crap, Yu Jin started imagining him as an evil stepmother who won't stop nagging at Cinderella. Yu Jin started singing listlessly as he thought about how his brother abandoned him after awakening. Despite his begging, Yu Yun left, and Yu Jin got drafted into the military. He still has to serve despite the chaos. At this time, Yu Yun built his own guild, Heian, that grew unrivaled in their country. And it looks like his brother has already forgotten about Yu Jin. As Yu Jin was left behind, he could only think about awakening himself. He chose to take all his savings and go to a broker to help him awaken. The broker tricked him into signing a contract, and Yu Jin did manage to awaken. Except, Yu Jin only awakened as an F rank. I think this proves how Yu Jin cared for his brother to the point that he barely cared for himself. Awakening with a useless rank only made him get criticized by the media and fall into debt. Yu Yun had to clean up his mess, and he bluntly states Yu Jin's title of nurturer, custodian, or caregiver. We'll stick with caregiver. Whatever it is, Yu Jin got the title for raising an S-ranker. Yu Yun tells him he shouldn't be so shameless, for he can't nurture him, because all Yu Jin does is cling to his feet and drag him down. You're the shameless one, Yun. With Yu Jin's bad luck, his legs broke in one of his dungeon raids. He asked Yu Yun for help, but Yu Yun refused to lend his brother a healer. Yu Yun even thought it would be better to have his brother's legs broken so that he'll stop going into dungeons. He tells Yu Jin to live a quiet life and stop dragging him down. If I was Yu Jin, I'd spank his brother until he learns manners, even if that guy is one of the strongest S-rankers. Yu Jin grimly grins as he thinks of the past and how he's useless as an older brother. He may be a parasite, but believes he can still survive in a dungeon with his skill. He can give the influence person a small buff with his care and encouraging words. That is his primary skill, but it's insufficient to let him survive. His title as a caregiver has given him a hidden skill that has saved his life every time he is in a pinch. A system suddenly informs Yu Jin that his final thanks skill has been activated. The skill lets him gain double the effect of the target's skills and stats. Instead of being glad, this makes Yu Jin nervous, and he starts limping to where everyone is. Yu Jin's hidden skill, Final Thanks, lets Yu Jin gain double the effect of the target's stats and skills for a limited time. He survived a dungeon all this time because of this specific skill, but this skill is ominous. To activate the skill, it means that the target under his care is dead. The skill effects are sound, but the activation cost isn't something a sane person would really wish for. Yu Jin rushes as he limps and reaches the hunting party. The ground is filled with blood, and Yu Jin finds the body of the guild leader on the floor. He hears growling and looks up. A monster with 3 heads has the rude guild member in its mouth. The red jacket dude curses at Yu Jin for jinxing them, and those were his last words as he died. What a way to serve justice. Looking aghast, Yu Jin can only stare as the last member dies. He realizes the monster is Rao-Chi-Taz, the Dragon King of Venom and Curse. Nobody has ever slain it, and it's a Tier 1 dragon deemed undefeatable. So what is it doing in a D-rank dungeon? The three-headed dragon, Rao-Chi-Taz, looms over Yu-Jin. Yu-Jin limps as he ponders why it is in a D-rank dungeon. Yu-Jin uses the skill, Fortify Legs, on himself to give him a better chance of escaping. This is the skill the guild leader previously used on him. With its double effects, he runs away as he thinks of a way out. I doubt it'll make much difference. Rao-Chi-Taz's tail narrowly misses him and hits the rocky ground instead. The monster launches another attack with its tail as Yu-Jin thinks of how he can survive. The tail thwacks him, and Yu-Jin flies off and tumbles. He spittles blood from his nose and mouth, thinking he is no match for the monster. The guild leader's memories started entering Yu-Jin's head, showing him what had happened with Rao-Chi-Taz. The memories only horrified Yu-Jin more, and he trembled as he realized he couldn't move his legs. Seeing how a person horribly dies will make anyone squirm. The Rao-Chi-Taz roars as Yu-Jin clenches his eyes shut, thinking he doesn't want to die. A loud explosion goes off, and Yu-Jin is whisked away by Yu-Yun. Shocked by his brother's appearance, Yu-Jin can only ask. Yu-Yun hides Yu-Jin behind the rocks and tells his brother to stay back. Yu-Yun turns his back as Yu-Jin warns him, "Yeah, OP bro is here, but we're still mad at you." Yu-Yun faces Rao-Chi-Taz and activates his skill, Blue Willow Leaves. A swirl of blue willow leaves appears, and Yu-Yun dashes toward Rao-Chi-Taz by stepping on the leaves. As Yu-Yun reaches one of its heads, his sword gets wrapped in black flames, and he stabs a monster's head with it. The fast movement of his brother amazes Yu-Jin, as he thinks this is how an S-ranker fights. Yu-Yun sees one of the heads gurgling a green substance from its mouth, and he leaps away. Yu-Jin screams for him to watch out because there is no antidote for Rao-Chi-Taz's poison, which can cause a curse when it touches him. Big Bro helping Lil Bro with his walking encyclopedia skill. Hearing this, Yu-Yun activates Titan's shield before Yu-Jin, but some poison still splashes in Yu-Yun's clothes. Yu-Jin can only yell his worry as his brother slashes another head of Rao-Chi-Taz. This melts Yu-Yun's blade, and Yu-Jin observes his brother's constrained movement. Yu-Jin realizes that it is because Yu-Yun is protecting him. He ignores his big bro, then saves him now. Yu-Yun scolds Yu-Jin as he fights. He told his brother he should have learned his lesson when his legs broke. Yu-Jin can't help but talk back to Yu-Yun. But Yu-Yun just yells at him to hide. "You're confusing everyone, Yu-Yun." Yu-Yun's scolding made Yu-Jin think he was indeed a useless brother. Yu-Jin hoped that Yu-Yun was there to save him, because they were brothers. But hearing those words from Yu-Yun only made him feel worse about himself. Yu-Jin equips his sword as he talks about how having an older brother like him must have been really tiring. Yu-Yun sees this and tells Yu-Jin to get back to safety. Yu-Jin doesn't listen and stabs Rao-Chi-Taz in the foot, getting a monster head's attention. Stubborn fool. Yu-Jin tells Yu-Yun that he should just let him die there since he is only slowing Yu-Yun down. With him dead in the dungeon, there's no need for a funeral, and Yu-Yun's guild will be thrilled with his death. Rao-Chi-Taz roars as it attacks Yu-Jin. Yu-Jin squeezes his eyes shut, so he doesn't see Yu-Yun attack the dragon with his black flames. Is this how he redeems himself? Wondering why he's still alive, Yu-Jin opens his eyes and sees his brother embracing him with wounds on his back, and Yu-Jin wonders when things got bad between the two of them. Yu-Jin and Yu-Yun were very close. They got orphaned at a young age, and Yu-Jin has cared for his brother ever since. Yu-Jin asks Yu-Yun if he's okay. No, he obviously isn't. Yu-Jin is all confused as to why Yu-Yun would still protect him. Yu-Yun coughs blood as he tells Yu-Jin that the Rao-Chi-Taz falls asleep every 5 hours, and will fall back asleep in an hour. At that time, Yu-Jin should take advantage of this time to escape. Yu-Jin started thinking that what was happening was wrong. He remembered how Yu-Yun ignored him when his legs got broken, how Yu-Yun pushed him out of his life, even when asked for help, and even told him to learn his place. But what is Yu-Yun doing here? These thoughts ran through his head as Yu-Yun gave him a gate stone to escape the dungeon. Yu-Jin rejects it, saying Yu-Yun should use it himself, but Yu-Yun says it's useless. He won't be needing the gate stone. Yu-Yun plops into Yu-Jin's arms. Yu-Jin calls for his brother, but a flash tells him it's useless. With his caregiver title in effect, the skill, Final Thanks, gets activated and will last for an hour. The system announces that the skills and stats of Yu Yun Han will be transferred at double effectiveness. Yu Jin bursts with blue light as he receives it. Even if Yu Jin never really activated the skill, Yu Yun is still recognized as someone under Yu Jin's care. The Rao Cheetahs attacks Yu Jin by stomping its foot on them. Yu Jin activates the blue willow leaves to escape with his brother in his arms. As they got to the ground, Yu Jin could only scold himself as he embraced his brother's dead body. Yu Jin manifests a spear using Yu Yun's black flames and gently settles Yu Yun to the ground. Yu Jin stands up and stabs Rao Cheetah Su in one of its heads. He comments on how slow Rao Cheetah's is now that he's twice as strong as his S-ranker brother. I love and hate Yu Jin's skills at the same time. As Yu Jin fights, he also receives Yu Yun's memories. Flashback time. Yu Yun learns that his brother is F-rank, so he decides to keep his distance, so that Yu Jin will not be seen as Yu Yun's weakness, and this will keep him safe. Yu Yun commands his people to keep watch of Yu Jin. Yu Yun scolded his people for letting his brother get hurt, to the point that his legs got broken, and he commands everyone to take out everyone who did this to Yu Jin. Yu Yun not providing a healer, kicking Yu Jin out, and giving him money were all decided by Yu Yun, so that Yu Jin would stop entering a dungeon. But deep inside, Yu Yun is sorry that he has to resort to these actions to keep Yu Jin safe. Every bad thing between them happened for the sake of protecting Yu Jin. These memories entered Yu Jin as he fought Rao Cheetahs. He leaps on its head and uses it to jump higher, and from above, he slashes Rao Cheetahs, killing it. It rains inside the dungeon, and Yu Jin looks at the fallen monster. The memories he received from Yu Yun enlightened him about what he was unaware of. Not only Yu Jin, but all of us were also enlightened. But still, Yu Yun should have lent some healers for Yu Jin's legs. Or maybe, I don't know, tell him why he was doing those things instead of trying to hide it. The skill Final Thanks is reaching its 1-hour time limit, and once it deactivates, Yu Jin will soon die because of the dragon's poison. Yu Jin can only embrace this death. Out of nowhere, the system lets him know that he unlocked an impossible achievement by single-handedly hunting a dragon, giving him the title of Dragon Slayer. With it, he'll also receive 10 Gate Stones, 5 Tier 1 enchantment drafts, the Red Dragon Great Sword, and a Wish Stone that can grant any wish once. There are lots of Gate Stones, but no one can use them now. Despite receiving a lot of rewards, Yu Jin has zeroed in on the Wish Stone. He asks if it can bring back his brother, but the system immediately tells him it can't return the dead. Yu Jin could easily wish to be more powerful, become the greatest hunter, and get anything he wants. Still, it is useless since he only wants to have his brother back. With these thoughts, Yu Jin wishes to turn back time before his brother's death. Yu Jin promises to live a quiet life away from the dungeons. He changes his wish to turn back the time even before he awakens, even if the time comes that he will regret it. Good job on being specific with your wish. The system asks him for confirmation, and Yu Jin affirms that he wants to turn back time. He will not let this happen again, and the Wish Stone glows as it grants Yu Jin's wish. Give me a Wish Stone. I also want to be a regressor. Yu Jin springs up and looks around. He identifies the space as the Heian Guild headquarters, and checks that he returned to 5 years ago. Yu Jin remembers that this was the day before he went to the Awakening Broker. Yu Jin then remembers what is about to happen in that room, and looks at the door. The door opens, and Yu Yun immediately scolds Yu Jin as he comes in. Yu Jin tears up as he sees his brother alive. With thoughts on how everything is back to how it was, Yu Jin dashes at Yu Yun and hugs him tight. Yu Yun was shocked, but he lets his brother hug him. Yes, they can make up now. Yu Jin starts apologizing to Yu Yun. He admits he's wrong and apologizes for everything while hugging Yu Yun. Yu Yun asks if Yu Jin did something, and Yu Jin calms him down. Yu Jin pats his brother's head as he hugs him, saying how things have been hard for Yu Yun, and how he's been a terrible brother for not realizing it. Yu Jin pulls back and promises Yu Yun that he'll behave from now on, so that Yu Yun will stop getting stressed because of Yu Jin. Yu Yun starts hugging his brother back. Keep your promise, Yu Jin. Yu Jin feels a bit embarrassed, but he is happy that he can fix his relationship with his brother back to the way it was. Yu Jin calls Yu Yun baby brother and tells him, "I love you," with the resolve to finally forget Awakening or become a hunter. He suddenly receives a system message congratulating him for his awakening. The system announces that he has gained the Legendary Dragon Slayer and Perfect Caregiver titles. With the Perfect Caregiver title, he receives the skill, My Kid is the Best, which increases Yu Yun Han's growth speed by 100%. An OP support is born. Yu Jin remembers that this was the day he had a huge fight with Yu Yun and ran off, but today is very different. Yu Yun is in the kitchen cooking dinner for Yu Jin. Yu Jin can only sit down and feel awkward with the current situation. Yu Jin opens his status window while he waits for his brother to finish cooking. He sees he still has the Dragon Slayer title and starts feeling off about it. The Dragon Slayer title is an L rank or legendary rank title higher than S rank. Yu Jin clicks on the title and 4 skills appear. He gains 3 L grade resistance for poison, curse, and fear, making him immune to these ailments below the legendary grade, while the last one is a double S grade skill called Rao Chi-Ta's Bane, making Yu Jin the natural enemy of Rao Chi-Ta's and other dragon-type monsters. Cool skills. I wish there was also sleep resistance. Seeing the skills, Yu Jin starts thinking he has become one of those heroes who becomes the most powerful person after regressing. Yes, you are, in a way. He starts daydreaming of Yu Yun fighting Rao Chi-Ta's and how he protects Yu Yun from the boss. He even imagines having Yu Yun make googly eyes as Yu Yun praises him or carrying Yu Yun in his arms. Yu Jin thinks he'll be invincible with this skill and is now an S ranker or even an L ranker. He taps on his status and sees that the stats are still low, meaning he's still an F ranker. Yu Jin can only cry as he imagines how Rao Chi-Ta's can quickly kill him with a swipe of its claws. Ha, you wish? Thinking that the L actually stands for loser, he checks his other skills. His dexterity and intelligence boosts are still at E grade, while his title Caregiver upgraded to L rank, and has new skills under it. His Final Thanks skill upgraded to L grade, but he dismissed it. Creepy skill. He checks the L grade skill, My Kid is the Best, and learns that the growth rate of the target can be boosted for 3 days if he uses the keyword. Yu Jin gets shocked to see that the boost could be doubled, thinking that his brother would be stronger with a double rate compared to other hunters. Yu Jin then checks the double S grade skill, My Kid is so great. The skill activates if he cheers the target in front of at least 5 intelligent beings using the keyword. The boost is based on the number of intelligent beings who heard it. So if 100 humans heard it, the growth would be 100%, which is the max boost Yu Jin can provide with this skill. These 2 skills are pretty great. Yu Jin thinks these 2 skills can make Yu Yun the most powerful hunter in the world in no time. And if he uses it with the whole guild, Hey I Am will be the strongest. Yu Jin imagines how his skills will make him rich and famous until he sees the keyword, I love you. Yu Jin bangs his head on the table, making Yu Yun worried, saying, I love you to your brother and in public. I feel you, bro. Might as well forget about that skill if you ask me. The keyword has changed because of his second awakening. Yu Jin imagines that saying, I love you to everyone he meets will easily send him to jail. Yeah, saying that to a kid you don't know is kinda, just don't go there. Yu Jin looks at the last skill, Promising Sprout. It's an S-grade skill that lets him check the potential of an unawakened individual. Imagining the possibility of using his other skills on a target will help them reach their optimal potential. Yu Yun finishes cooking and serves Yu Jin food. Yu Jin eats and compliments Yu Yun's cooking, making his brother happy. Make Yu Yun happy and keep praising him, Yu Jin. Yu Jin expresses his shock at learning that his brother knows how to cook. Yu Yun admits that eating his own food is safer to avoid poisons and curses. Yu Jin was struck by realizing that some people did this to his brother. Yu Jin gets angry and grabs his brother's face, scolding Yu Yun for not telling him this. But Yu Yun can only say that this is the path that he chose. Don't worry, F-rank big bro will protect you now. Yu Yun then admits that he regrets their falling out. He pretended he wasn't close to Yu Jin, so that people wouldn't exploit Yu Jin. Yu Yun didn't want to burden Yu Jin with this, and thought Yu Jin wouldn't understand. Learning that he was wrong, Yu Yun is happy that his brother still cares and loves him, and the two enjoyed a meal together for the first time in a while. You guys should have just talked it out in the first place. They finished their meal, and Yu Yun stood to get back to work. Before leaving, he ensured Yu Jin deleted the broker's contact information from his phone. As Yu Yun leaves, Yu Jin says he'll take care of everything before leaving, making Yu Yun pause. Yu Yun then says that Yu Jin will stay with him from now on. He states that Yu Jin can't go outside, shocking our MC speechless. We have another brocon. This time it's worse. Yu Jin asks Yu Yun what he means, and Yu Yun smiles, saying it's dangerous outside. Yu Yun explains that now that they are close again, Yu Jin will not be safe anymore. Yu Yun's enemies will be all over Yu Jin, and he can't just let him wander outside. Yu Yun reiterates that Yu Jin will now stay and live with him, overprotective bro. Yu Jin makes the run for it, but bars start appearing out of nowhere, and a mover asks for his signature for bringing all of his stuff. We need insta-movers like this in real life. Yu Yun says that Yu Jin's place is now empty. Yu Jin tries to argue, but Yu Yun reminds his brother's words of love and how he forgave Yu Yun for his previous actions, meaning Yu Jin agrees to live together. Wow, saying I love you means you can live together immediately now. Yu Jin is stuck in Yu Yun's place with his stuff littering the place. He wonders if the reset affected his brother's head in treating him like a kid. Yu Jin takes some essentials and decides to bail, but as he opens the door, he sees the prominent figure of a man in a casual suit. The man glares at Yu Jin as he asks what he can help him with. Yu Jin identifies the glaring man as Song Han Kim, an A-rank hunter of Heian that serves as Yu Yun's right-hand man because of his defense skills. Yu Jin asks if he can get through, but Song Han refuses because it was the guild master's instructions to keep Yu Jin there. Yu Jin then argues, but Song Han threateningly tells him to go back inside. Yu Jin starts to get afraid like a rabbit before a bear, but a system interface appears as he thinks he can't back down. Yu Jin activates his L-rank skill, Fear Resistance, removing the intimidation effect Song Han has on him. Oh, so that's how it works. Yu Jin stops fearing Song Han and tells him that detaining him like this is a crime, but Song Han only grabs him by his clothes and lifts Yu Jin up. Desperate, Yu Jin looks at his other skills and uses Promising Sprout. The use makes him stop and look at Song Han closely. Song Han is currently an A rank, but he can potentially become an S rank, and his S-graded skills are locked. Yu Jin concludes that if Song Han becomes an S rank, Heian can have 2 S rankers. Yu Jin yanks on Song Han's head as he tries to unlock using his skill. The system informs him that the target is not under his influence. Yu Jin needs to use the keywords, and activate My Kid is the best skill to unlock his target's full potential. Yu Jin thinks that having Song Han under his wings will grant him his freedom, but saying I love you to the A rank is somewhat cringe. Song Han starts to get irritated, but Yu Jin refuses to give up. Yu Jin draws a heart with his fingers, making Song Han only stare. Yu Jin tries again, but this time with both hands and a wink, only making Song Han angry. He makes Yu Jin go back inside. In the end, he can't say the keyword. Our MC can only fall on his arms and knees, thinking the keywords must be changed. Yu Yun comes home, seeing an almost dead Yu Jin in a mess. Yu Yun takes his brother from the floor, commenting how he still hasn't unpacked. Yu Jin weakly answers that he's only a prisoner. Yu Yun says he'll eventually let his older brother out. This snaps Yu Jin from his stupor. Yu Yun explains that Yu Jin will be free once Heian becomes the most powerful guild in the country. Yu even promises that it will only take a year. Still, Yu Jin gets depressed because he knows this took Yu Yun 3 years to accomplish. Yu even promises he'll still let his brother leave the house as long as Song Han or he is there to watch over Yu Jin. But Yu Yun retracts, saying he can't always take his brother out because clearing the dungeon can take several days. Yu Yun treats his brother like a pet that needs his walk. The thought pails Yu Jin, and he tries to find a solution using his abilities and knowledge. As a regressor, he knows the hunters that will reach the highest rank, and if he contracts with them, they can be his bodyguards. He can even stop Yu Yun from bossing him around if he can do this. With that, Yu Jin announces that he'll find an A ranker. Yu Yun looks at his brother in confusion, and Yu Jin confirms he will. While Yu Jin thinks about finding an A ranker or an S ranker that he can easily sway and sweet talk. Outside, in an alley, a girl with poor clothes and shoes looks up at the sky, foreshadowing Yu Jin's new recruit. Yu Yun asks Yu Jin how he'll find an A ranker himself. Yu Jin fumbles, and Yu Yun leers at his brother, stating that Yu Jin has awakened. Yu starts barraging Yujin with questions about how he awakened and his skills. Yujin panics and thinks about how he can't tell the truth to his brother, or he'll be locked up forever. Yujin then tells Yu that he's only an F rank at most. He can predict whether a person's ranking will be high or low, and how awakening is limited to only once a month. Yu thinks about it, and admits that it's not enough to make Yujin a target. Still, Yu says that Yujin's abilities will soon be obsolete because of the development of an awakening center. The center will help people have a safe awakening. Yujin smiles and says his skills are useless, so Yu should let him go out and find himself an A ranker. Yu finally agrees, but Yujin should still stay at Yun's place. Yujin is ecstatic about getting Yun's permission. He gets ahead of himself, thinking he can create a guild greater than his brother's. Yeah, but you still have your brother as a warden. The next day, Yujin, accompanied by Songhan, goes to the Korean Hunters Association Awaken Registration Center. The place is a mouthful. Let's just call it the Registration Center in the future. People are abuzz with Haeyeon's A-rank appearance, thinking he's accompanying a new big-shot hunter. Nothing to see here, people. Yujin registers, and everyone learns he's only an F rank. People kept murmuring, even commenting that Yujin pretended to be an S rank. Well, not his fault. You all jumped to the wrong conclusion. Yujin takes out an envelope that Yu gave him as pocket money for purchasing equipment. His eyes go big when he sees it's 1 billion won. Yun's insane, but I want to be his brother. Yujin headed to the Hunter's Mall on the 6th floor and was welcomed by the staff. They showed him equipment meant to increase his magic power, but those were too flashy for his taste. He takes the studs of Dark Fairy, which adds 29 magic power, Manticore leather gloves adding 61 stamina and 20 strength, and a light fabric belt adding 16 dexterity. Then Yujin spends the rest of his money on contracts, potions, and more. He's basically a pay-to-win player. Songhan was waiting for Yujin downstairs by the car. Songhan questions where Yujin has been, and reminds him to always tell him where he's going. The two of them were about to go, but Yujin said they still had somewhere to go. Yujin thinks about the Ice Witch Yirim Park, who lives around the area. He remembers that she used to live with relatives. Yirim was a well-known A-ranker before the reset, so getting her will satisfy his brother. Yirim is to awaken 3 years from now when she turns 18, so meeting and making her sign a contract while she's barely in high school would be good for him. She's probably the girl previously shown at the end of Chapter 7. Yujin visits different barbecue places and asks people about Yirim, but everyone he's asked so far says no. Yujin eats a corn dog and asks Songhan if they should just eat there. Then he sees a girl shouting at an older man. The girl bumps into Yujin as she leaves, and Yujin finally identifies the girl as Yirim. Yep, it's her alright. Seeing her run away, Yujin passes his corn dog to Songhan and runs after her. It was only possible because he equipped the light fabric belt. After some turns, Yujin finally spots Yirim and calls for her. Yirim ignores Yujin and just runs away to the streets. She stops when a loud honk and flash of lights come from a running vehicle. Yujin leaps and saves Yirim from getting hit. Nice. For a second there, I thought Yirim would become an isekai heroine. Yujin asks if Yirim is okay and laments how he didn't land with a heroic pose. Yirim sits on Yujin's back with a foot on his face as she asks him if he's a hunter. Yujin says he'll explain, but she should move first. It could have been a more awkward position than that. Korean barbecue sizzles and Yujin drools as he looks at it. The art is so good that it's making me drool like Yujin. Yujin tells Yirim to dig in, while thinking that it was a good thing that he brought the corporate card. The two starts talking, and Yirim confirms that Yujin is the Haeyeon Guild Master's older brother, and she wonders why Yujin is recruiting someone like her. Yirim doesn't really believe Yujin and decides to leave. Yujin stops her by claiming that he knows Yirim's parents, who used to help him and his brother when their own parents passed away. Yujin wants to repay them by helping Yirim out. Yirim returns to eating and says Yujin's okay since he's not trying to rip her off. The world has been too harsh on you, girl, and you've met a liar. Yujin tells Yirim that he sees potential in her while thinking about how he could help her. Yujin explains that his skill can help people get their powers, and he says that Yirim will at least get a B rank. And with Haeyeon's backing, Yujin can sponsor Yirim, if it's okay with her. I smell a bit of nepotism here. Yujin reaches his hand out to Yirim and once again offers to sign a contract, and he'll make her a hunter. To make Yirim more inclined, he offers her the terms by pulling out a parchment and a pen from his inventory. Yirim gets excited when she sees this, and Yujin assures her that she'll also get it when she awakens. Yujin explains that the parchment is made from materials found in dungeons. Signing on it means she'll enter into an agreement with him. The terms are as follows. Join the Heian Guild after awakening. Never divulge Yujin Han's skills, and serve as Yujin Han's bodyguard for a year. Yujin explains that someone wants to lock him up for being a helpless F-ranker. Then Yirim asks him if he doesn't feel embarrassed for letting a teenager protect him. This stabs Yujin right in the head. Yujin then explains that Yirim will be more powerful than him after her awakening. I don't think child abuse applies if the child is an S-ranker, so Yujin's safe here. Yirim then asks if awakening means she can live on her own. Yujin explains that awakened minors can gain status as an adult. Hearing this, Yirim decides to sign her name on the contract. Yujin immediately stops her, telling her to finish reading it first, and add her terms to the agreement. Yirim then realizes that she almost made a mistake. Yujin explains that she'll be on the losing end if she blindly signs contracts. He teaches her to negotiate her terms carefully. He explains why she would still need a legal guardian to guide her. Yirim asks what if the guardian rips her off, the guardian may take all the money she makes. Yujin asks what Yirim means when a man suddenly screams at her. I think she's being abused by her relatives, and it's this guy. The man is Yirim's uncle, who starts reprimanding Yirim before Yujin even introduces himself. Yirim's uncle starts pulling on her, telling her she has to work or she'll be sorry. Yujin tries to calm the man down and holds onto the other guy's arm, but the man accuses Yujin of having a relationship with his niece. This shocks and irritates Yujin so much that he starts squeezing the arm he's holding. The man yells to let him go, but Yujin ignores him and looks at Yirim. Yirim is standing, avoiding their gaze, feeling uncomfortable. It is when Yujin sees Yirim's tattered shoes and remembers the previous yelling. Understanding dawns on Yujin, and he says she is better off without a guardian like this jerk before them. Finding someone who understands her, Yirim agrees and says her uncle is the worst. She starts telling about how her uncle took all of her parents' money and never gave anything to her. She then tells about how he would only give her cheap plastic umbrellas during the typhoon, but those would break and he wouldn't get a new one. So she has no choice but to use plastic bags to remain dry. People around them hear the commotion and start murmuring how this is child abuse. Yirim's uncle gets angry and pushes Yujin off him. Yep, he's non-biodegradable trash. Yujin tumbles down loudly, shocking both Yirim and her uncle. Yirim asks if Yujin is okay, but Yujin remains seated on the floor. Boof. Now you're causing harm to Yuyun's precious brother. Yujin was seated on the floor for a second, then suddenly started rolling and shouting that the other guy was beating him up for no reason. He starts crying and acting like a victim who only tries to protect the girl. Yujin says the guy would beat Yirim like this, acting all pitiful. And the award for Best Actor goes to, rolling on the floor, Yujin. Yirim's uncle got really angry that he grabbed Yujin by the collar. Yujin doesn't miss the chance to tap his foot next to the other guy's foot, making the other person lose his balance and fall on his face on the table. Yujin then stands up and tells the other that spilled soda made the floor slippery. Not yet done with Yirim's uncle, Yujin keeps hold of the other's head, asking if he's okay in a loud voice. Yujin gets closer to the guy and whispers how he shouldn't have ripped off his niece while threatening to put the guy's face in the griller built into the table. Now that is what I call justice. A loud sound stops Yujin from threatening the other guy. He looks at Yirim, but Yirim only compliments him, thinking that the sound came from Yujin, smashing her uncle's face to the table. Yujin says it wasn't him while still holding on to the other guy's head. A loud rumbling sound was heard throughout the area and people started panicking. Songhan then appears, still holding on to Yujin's corn dog. Good work, soldier. You follow orders well. Songhan tells him they should go because a monster is in the area. Outside, a monster with multiple tentacles, eyes, and sharp teeth is causing havoc. There was a dungeon break and it released this monster. Songhan tells Yujin to return because it's dangerous there, and he tells them he'll buy them some time. Songhan fist flashes as he activates his A-rank defensive skill, Terra Shield, on the ground. The ground changes and forms a wall that protects them from the monster. Songhan tells Yujin to get to safety, but Yujin is shocked as he thinks this kind of thing didn't happen in his past life. This is definitely a sign of something wrong with the current timeline. Song-han tells Yoo-jin to go before he leaps and attacks the monster with a falling kick. Song-han realizes it's not the monster's main body, and the tentacles start slithering around him. People are still panicking on the other side of the wall that Song-han made. People were running, and among them were Yi-rim and her uncle. With her tattered shoes, Yi-rim falls down, and her uncle sees this. Instead of helping his niece, he only looked back and continued running. I hope he suffers eternal pain. Tentacles come slithering toward Yi-rim, but Yoo-jin immediately stops them with a big shield. Yi-rim is stunned, and Yoo-jin tells her to run towards a shelter. Yoo-jin pulls on Yi-rim's hand as they run toward a shelter. This is how a grown-up should act. Learn from this, Yi-rim's uncle. The two discover an underground shelter, and Yoo-jin tells Yi-rim to hide there. Yi-rim asks what about him. Yoo-jin answers that he has to go back as he thinks of what type of monster it is and how to defeat it. As a defense-specialized hunter, Song-han wouldn't have wide-area attack skills that could kill the beast. Yoo-jin was still thinking of a way when Yi-rim gripped his arm and told him she would help. She can immediately help if Yoo-jin awakens her now. Yoo-jin reminds her that she still hasn't signed the contract, but Yi-rim promises she wouldn't change her mind after things settle down. Because of this reasoning, Yoo-jin doesn't want to let her come. Yoo-jin explains to her that awakening wouldn't make her a great fighter instantaneously. It will safely awaken her and not throw her to battle immediately. Listen to Yoo-jin, Yi-rim. Yoo-jin remembers how Yoo-yoon fought on his own when he awakened. Oof, this event is bringing up bad memories for our MC. With this thought, he swears that he wouldn't forgive himself if he let a kid fight alone. Yoo-jin tells her to get to safety again. Yoo-jin runs off as he thinks of how to beat the monster. He reaches Song-han on the safe side of the wall with a pole. Song-han asks why he was there and yells at Yoo-jin to get to safety. Yoo-jin ignores Song-han's words and just commands Song-han to use his shield skill. Song-han says it's useless, but Yoo-jin tells him it would be enough since he has a plan. Yoo-jin and Song-han look over the monsters on top of the thick wall that Song-han made. Song-han readies himself and again uses Terra's shield on top of the border they're in. The earth rumbles and moves in to make a shield. Instead of making another wall, the earth closed in on the monster, covering it from all sides and sealing even the top. As the earth stops moving, Song-han thinks he would never have used his skill this way. Yoo-jin tells Song-han it's his turn as he leaps off and runs towards the hole left by Song-han's skill. Yoo-jin plans to use the A-rank black poison pill he bought back from the association earlier. They'll kill the monster by popping one of those in an open shield and immediately closing the barrier. Before Yoo-jin can even throw it in, he stops, shocked to see that the monster is missing. Wondering where it went, tentacles emerge from the sewage and pull Yoo-jin by the ankle. He dangles in the air as he realizes the monster hid in the sewer. It was a miscalculation, and he wonders if this is his end. I doubt it's your end since this story can't continue without you. The end of an umbrella thwacks on a tentacle, and Yi-rim appears with an umbrella extended by a wooden pole. Yi-rim kept on attacking the monster that held Yoo-jin. Her attacks worked in a way, and Yoo-jin dropped to the ground when the monster released him. She's stubborn, but if it wasn't for her, Yoo-jin might have died for real this time. The two run towards an alley while Yoo-jin scolds Yi-rim for not listening, saying she's only a civilian. Yi-rim talks back by shouting that Yoo-jin's only an F-ranker. Ouch. Yoo-jin answers that he's at least an awakened grown-up, unlike her. Yi-rim reminds Yoo-jin that he's an adult who wants a teenage girl as his bodyguard. The two kept bantering as they ran. Yi-rim knows that she's a minor, but is the exact reason why she needs her own powers. When Yoo-jin saved her, she was relieved to have someone who really wanted to protect her. And at the same time, it made her angry for being helpless. Instead of relying on others' help, she wants the ability to protect herself and the freedom to make her own choices. And to do that, she wants Yoo-jin to teach her how to be strong. For a teenager, she's really ready to face life challenges head-on. The monster is almost upon them, and they stop running. Light starts to gather as Yoo-jin grips Yi-rim's hand. There was a loud boom, and Song-han could only look over from where he was with eyes open wide. The tentacles are frozen mid-attack, and Yi-rim's hand is stretched upwards with a remaining magic circle. Yi-rim has cast Frosty Sigh on it, and the system congratulates her for awakening. She looks at Yoo-jin happily and announces that she got an S rank. She's making me cry with happiness. Yirim shows off her skills at Yujin, while Song-han can only stare blankly. Yujin scolds Yirim that she should not tell everyone about her skills. Yirim kept on talking, but the monster was still alive. Yujin shouts to watch out behind her, as a tentacle grabs Yirim's arm. The tentacles shock Yirim, and she immediately smacks the monster while yelling "Mommy." The attack makes Yujin and Song-han's faces pale with shock. The monster is stuck on the wall, and Yujin thinks Yirim is truly an S rank. Yirim is happy and says that she'll take care of the rest. She borrows the poles Song-han was holding, and with a clack to the ground, a blue light appears. Rocks get thrown Yujin's way, but Song-han protects him with his skill. Yirim activates the Sandals of Hermes, and with a whoosh, she attacks the monster. And more rubbles fall on Song-han and Yujin. Yujin screams at Yirim to take it easy, or she'll kill them all. Yeah, she's a bit out of control. While still floating in the air, Yirim apologizes, saying she's still not used to controlling her powers. Yujin looks up at her, reflecting on his previous life and how they called Yirim the Ice Witch. Instead, what he sees right now is a cheerful girl. She definitely turned into a witch because of that uncle of hers. Yujin comments on how her awakening is unexpected, and would have been an added bonus if she had an AoE skill. As Yujin says this, someone beside him says he'll take care of it. With a flare of his hand, Yuyun engulfs the remaining monster in his black flames. Yuyun really loves his brother. This amazes Yirim, as she sees how Yuyun's attack cleanly defeats the enemy in one move. Yuyun looks up at her with a frown on his gaze. He probably thinks this girl is a potential enemy for his brother's affection. Looking at his brother's back, Yujin comments on how Yuyun came to save him. Yuyun looks at his brother and calls him brother with a dark look. Yuyun rushes to Yujin and scolds him, thinking he should have locked him up. Yujin introduces Yirim to Yuyun as Yirim goes back to the ground. He introduces her as a new S-ranker who can keep him safe. Yirim shyly says hello to Yuyun as she realizes that Yujin is not lying when he says his brother is the guild master of Heian. Well, to see is to believe. Yujin proudly says that Yirim will sign with him, while Yuyun only comments on how she's still a minor. Yujin scratches his face as he tells his plan to become Yirim's legal guardian. This shocks Yuyun, and he argues that his brother can be just the girl's sponsor. Yuyun's more shocked by this revelation than by her being an S rank. Hearing this, Yirim asks if there's any difference between a legal guardian and a sponsor. Song-han then explains that a sponsor can't get involved in the personal affairs of the beneficiary, meaning they can't protect the beneficiary if they enter a contract that's disadvantageous to them, while a legal guardian can act as a parent to their ward. Yirim gets shocked that Yujin will be her parent, and she tells him that he doesn't have to go that far for her. Yuyun agrees with Yirim, saying that she's a total stranger. Lil Bro is panicking. Yujin calmly tells Yirim that he must do so because Yirim has a jerk for an uncle, but he will still leave the decision to Yirim. This infuriates Yuyun, and he snatches his brother, saying he won't allow it for his brother's sake. Then he tells how there are many cases of powerful minors who assault their weaker legal guardians. He also mentions that an S-ranker would never listen to an F-ranker. Yuyun frowns at Yirim and asks Yujin what he'll do if Yirim beats him up. Yirim can only say that she wouldn't do such a thing, and that she's a nice girl. Yuyun glares at Yirim and shouts that he'll just do it himself if she really needs a guardian. This irritates Yirim, and she says no thanks, since Yujin has already volunteered. Yuyun really wants his brother for himself. Yuyun says that Yirim might one day change her mind. Yirim says she wouldn't since there's a contract to keep Yujin safe. She angrily asks Yuyun if he is sure that he's not the one who's trying to hurt Yujin. That won't happen, Yirim. The two fought like fire and ice, and Yujin could only try to calm them down. Hearing his brother speak up, Yuyun puts an arm on his brother's shoulder and starts dragging him away, saying they'll go home. It annoyed Yirim more that she grabbed Yujin's arm to stop them. Crack. With Yujin in between two S-rankers, his shoulder dislocates, and Yuyun and Yirim panic. Yujin can only weakly say that they should leave him alone. It's dangerous to be in between an S-ranker's fight. Yuyun worriedly asks his brother if he should get him a healer or potions. Yujin points at Yuyun and starts scolding him. Yujin asks if this is how you raise him. With a finger still pointed at Yuyun, Yujin tells his brother that it's Yirim's choice if she'll get a legal guardian. Yujin scolds Yuyun, saying he should be grateful that Yu-jin got him a new S rank to join their guild. Yu-yun falters and tries to reason, but Yu-jin keeps on scolding him. He tells Yu-yun that he can't go home yet because he still needs to clean up, and that Song-ham Kim is waiting for him. He commands his brother to do his job as a guild master and shoos him away. Unable to talk back to his brother, Yu-yun hesitantly leaves his brother with Yi-rim. Yu-yun tells his brother that they'll talk later, and he'll be done in no time. Seems like Yu-yun can't talk back when his brother scolds him. Yu-jin and Yi-rim watch Yu-yun leave with Song-han. Yi-rim then comments on how she didn't know that Hye-ayan's guild master could be such a jerk, and how she liked Yu-yun before because he was handsome. Yu-yun's a jerk when his brother is involved. Yu-jin then points over a rock and yells at Yi-rim to not come near him and sit on the rock instead. Yi-rim immediately follows, apologizing for being unable to control her strength, and asks Yu-jin about his shoulder. Yu-jin assures her it's just dislocated, as he crouches down to pick up one of Yi-rim's tattered shoes. Yu-jin helps Yi-rim to put on her shoe and comments on how Yi-rim's uncle gave her worn-out and wrong-sized shoes. He then tells her they should buy a new pair tomorrow. Yi-rim is happy as she tells Yu-jin that this reminds her how it typically happens in rom-com dramas. Before she finishes her sentence, she gets so distracted by a fly that she just smacks at it. Yu-jin managed to evade, but he still got hit a bit, causing his nose to bleed. Yu-jin says this really got his heart beating fast, except it's out of fear. Yi-rim can only apologize for what happened. At least the fly's dead. Their serious talk continues. Yu-jin mentions that he's only nosy, answering Yi-rim's question about why he would go so far for her. Yu-jin explains to Yi-rim how he has been in her shoes before, and how things were rough when their parents died. He had wished for someone to help him and his brother out back then, and how he might not be the most reliable guy. Yi-rim looks at Yu-jin and mumbles that Yu-jin is reliable. Yu-jin smiles at this, and Yi-rim teases him for wanting her to become his bodyguard. Whatever the case, Yi-rim looks forward to having Yu-jin as her guardian. The two bump their fists as Yu-jin thanks her. Yu-jin mentions that he may not be able to love her like her parents did. But still, Yu-jin tells her, "I love you." This line makes Yi-rim tear up and laugh hard, saying that it's gross. A system appears and announces that the S-ranker Yi-rim Park has responded to the keywords and is now under Yu-jin's care. Yi-rim Park was caught. Before the two of them can go, Yi-rim's uncle appears and tells Yi-rim that he's worried back then. "Yeah, right. You left her on her own." He then asks Yi-rim if it is true that she got her awakening, and tells her how she could make a fortune with that. This disgusts both Yu-jin and Yi-rim, as they realize they still have to deal with this jerk. Yi-rim's uncle tells her again how worried he was when he lost sight of her. He asks if Yi-rim really did awaken, and Yi-rim answers that she is, and that she's now an S-ranker. Yi-rim's uncle is all smiles as he exclaims how they've hit the jackpot. Yi-rim then tells him she's moving out and has signed a deal with Yu-jin. This shocks her uncle, who gets angry, telling her she's only 16. Which, of course, Yi-rim corrects because she's only 15. Yu-jin interjects and explains the special act on hunters, where hunters can live independently at 14. See, you don't even know her actual age. Yi-rim's uncle shouts that he's never heard of such a thing, but Yu-jin simply shows his phone to the man. Yu-jin plays a record of their previous argument in the barbecue place. Yu-jin tells him they could also get the security camera footage from the restaurant as evidence. Yu-jin argues that the man is unfit to be Yi-rim's legal guardian and runs off without Yi-rim in her time of need. The uncle rebuts, saying he didn't do such a thing. The two continue to argue while Yi-rim can only sadly look away. Yi-rim's uncle swats the phone and grabs Yu-jin by the collar, saying he'll sue Yu-jin. Yi-rim can't take it anymore and uses the umbrella to crash it between the two arguing men. Yu-jin nervously reminds Yi-rim that she can't attack civilians. Yi-rim looks angry as she looks down, but she turns all cute and innocent when she looks up. Wow, she's also an actress. She learns fast. Yi-rim cutely tells her uncle he shouldn't use violence as she holds the umbrella. Her uncle answers back that Yu-jin is the one who's trying to scam him. The umbrella snaps between Yi-rim's hands. Her uncle looks at her in horror, while Yi-rim smiles, saying she doesn't know what he means. Yi-rim continues to crack on the umbrella as she reminds her uncle that he's the one who pushed Yu-jin and how he tripped on his own earlier. The crunching sound and aura that Yi-rim emits horrify her uncle. He starts to wonder if she's the same teenage girl he used to know. because she's like a deadly predator as she crumples the umbrella into a ball. She's a new S ranker. She's obviously fatal. Yu-jin didn't turn off his fear resistance, making him immune to whatever Yi-rim did to her uncle. Yu-jin merely thinks that she is scary since she is an S ranker. Ignorance can be bliss. Yi-rim steps closer to her uncle and tells him she doesn't owe him anything. The metal umbrella is now crumpled into a ball. Yi-rim asks why a legal guardian can't even provide a kid a proper umbrella. She tosses the metal ball and her uncle plops down to the ground. Yi-rim then tells her uncle that nothing can stop her from turning him into a ball herself, but she will let it go. Yi-rim lets her uncle know that it is because he is worthless. He doesn't deserve her time and effort. Yi-rim tells him to always remember these words and that he shouldn't try to be clingy or trouble the people around her. Yi-rim proudly says she'll do more than crumple him if he forgets this. Her uncle remains seated on the ground, agape from what just happened. That'll teach you to stop being shameless. Yi-rim approaches Yu-jin, asking if she did a great job imitating him. Yu-jin can only think about how he should set a better example for Yi-rim in the future. And that is how Yu-jin recruited Yi-rim to the Heian Guild and ended his house arrest. But it seems that he has forgotten something. Yu-jin wakes up from his sleep when a door slams open. Yu-jin sits up. He sees his brother and asks what's wrong. Yu-yun stomps his feet toward Yu-jin and asks him to hand over the things Yu-jin bought from the association. Can't believe he forgot his overprotective brother. This worries Yu-jin, and he asks if he has overspent. Yu-yun asks Yu-jin for the black poison pill. Yu-jin shows the pill, and Yu-yun immediately snatches it away. Yu-jin asks how Yu-yun knows he bought those, but Yu-yun doesn't answer. Instead, Yu-yun asks Yu-jin if he can't count on him. Yu-jin asks what Yu-yun means. With eyes tearing up, Yu-yun hugs Yu-jin. Yu-yun says he knows that Yu-jin bought the pill as a last resort. He tells how Yu-jin plans to use those if Yu-yun's enemies come after him. Yu-yun is sure that Yu-jin will use the pills to take his own life instead of letting the bad people take advantage of him as a hostage. This freezes Yu-jin because he has no such plans. Lil Bro's faith in his brother's selfless love is boundless. Yu-yun looks at his brother with love and tells Yu-jin that he shouldn't resort to such drastic measures. Yu-jin tried to correct him, but Yu-yun kept saying he wouldn't let anything happen to his brother and would always be there to save him. Yu-jin proved this before Yu-jin's reset, even when they had a falling out. Yu-jin was planning to use the pills to clear a dungeon, but he thinks he can't tell his brother that he has a legendary grade poison resistance. In the end, Yu-jin can only reply with his thanks to his little brother. The two go down the elevator and Yu-jin asks his brother if everything has worked out with Yi-rim. Yu-yun says that Director Sok has already visited Yi-rim's uncle. They uncovered all the bad things Yi-rim's uncle did, and they got him to sign a settlement. This indicates that he'll never contact or approach Yi-rim, and in exchange, Yi-rim will drop her lawsuit. Yu-yun assures his brother that they used carrots and stick to persuade the guy. You should have just settled with the stick. As they leave the elevator, Yu-yun confirms that this is what Yi-rim wants, and then they drop the subject. Yu-yun informs Yu-jin that Yi-rim should have acclimated to her powers since she's in the training room all night. They enter the training room, and Yu-yun explains that it was built to withstand damage from S-rank attacks, letting Yi-rim go all out with her attacks. But what they see is entirely different from what Yu-yun just said. Everything in the room is destroyed, and some pillars are still falling. Yeah, built to withstand damage. Bro got scammed. Yu-jin remarks on how the room should withstand S-rank attacks, while Yu-yun can only mumble. The brothers can only stare at the destruction. The room is unrecognizable with all the destruction Yi-rim caused. She punches a punching bag, which shatters to pieces as it turns to ice. Yi-rim quickly activates a different skill called Shadowless Day. The skill lets her spread her shadows out. Yu-jin wonders what's happening, and if Yi-rim's okay. With a tug, Yu-jin realizes that he can't move his foot that was stepping on one of Yi-rim's extended shadows. Oh, is this like the shadow possession jutsu from Naruto? Yi-rim activates the skill, and everything within the shadow gets engulfed by it, including Yu-jin. This completely surprises Yu-jin, and Yu-yun can only call for his brother's name. Yi-rim's shadow continues to move, and she stomps her feet as she runs and punches the floor. It creates a loud boom and cracks the walls. As the wall crumbles, Yi-rim takes a rest when she hears Yu-yun yelling. This is why the training room is in such a state. Yu-Jin wakes Yu-Jin, who faints and becomes white from Yi-Rim's shadow skill. Yu-Jin manages to wake up and even compliments Yi-Rim for becoming strong. At the same time, Yu-Jin keeps on yelling, trying to keep him awake. Seeing the state Yu-Jin is in, Yi-Rim shrieks and tries to wake him up herself. Like a loaning machine, Yu-Jin starts up and gets shocked. Yi-Rim asks Yu-Jin if he's okay, as she pulls the hood of her jacket down. Yi-Rim looks brighter and more innocent with her shorter hair. Still out of it, Yu-Jin asks who she is. Shocked, Yi-Rim reminds Yu-Jin and asks if he has amnesia. Yu-Jin finally recognizes her, and Yu-Yeon explains that they gave Yi-Rim a makeover. Wow, perks of being an S-class. The styling team of Haeyeon set it up before she visits the registration center. Yu-Jin admits that it looks great, and he's sure that Yi-Rim will be able to get offers from sports drink companies. Yi-Rim says she has to look the part because she'll be on television. S-rank means instant celebrity. They then got into the talk of her registration, and Yi-Rim tells all of her skills to Yu-Jin. She has Frosty Sai, which can freeze, the Sandals of Hermes for flying and teleporting short distances, and a Shadowless Day, which can buff and debuff multiple targets. Shadowless Day can boost her chosen stat and skill, and she can absorb the target's shadows to slow them down and add the effect to her buff. This explains why the training room is in shambles. Yi-Rim reveals that she has another skill called White Corpse that lets her collect information from dead bodies. Yu-Jin comments that it may seem sketchy, and Yi-Rim says she would rather have gotten another attack skill. She could become a detective using this skill. Thinking about it, Yu-Jin advises Yi-Rim that she can leave it out for now. Yu-Jin explains how a hunter doesn't need to disclose all of their skills when registering, which also applies when revealing the skill effects. Yu-Jin's guidance makes Yi-Rim happy, saying that Yu-Jin is a real expert. Yi-Rim holds onto Yu-Jin's arm, and Yu-Jin compliments Yi-Rim for learning to adjust for strength. This exchange surprises Yu-Yun, and he goes between the two. With a frown, Yu-Yun tells Yi-Rim that Yu-Jin learned all those things for him, and that Yi-Rim should keep her distance from his brother. Possessive bro on the loose. Just hope he doesn't go full yandere. This irritates Yi-Rim, saying she wasn't even talking to him. Yu-Yun says he's only assisting. Seeing the two starting to argue, Yu-Jin tells him to stop. In front of the registration center, Yi-Rim emerges from a Haeyeon guild-owned luxury car and casual sporty outfit. There are a lot of flashes as news reporters take her picture, announcing that she is the 8th S-rank, combat-oriented hunter, to appear in Korea. Behind a pillar, Yu-Jin looks over with Song-Han beside him. Song-Han says that Miss Park was very disappointed because Yu-Jin wasn't tagging along to her registration. Yu-Jin explains that he had a bad experience with crowds, and now that Yi-Rim is well known, she will hardly miss him. And if Yu-Jin accompanies Yi-Rim, Yu-Yun will surely get jealous, since Yu-Jin wasn't there when he registered. Yu-Jin can only be happy that she finally has her own life to live. Yu-Jin thinks about how the snobby ice witch is gone, and a cheerful, outgoing teenager is in her place. He also thinks about the dungeon break that didn't happen before the reset, and is worried that the future he knows is changing. Yu-Jin can only accept his fate, and just decides to just look for potential recruits. Yu-Jin scans the crowd and uses his skill, Promising Sprout. Most people are F rank, so he thinks finding another S rank will be hard. Out of nowhere, Yu-Jin dashes from the pillar, surprising Song-Han, who is guarding him. Is it another recruit already? With thoughts that significant changes are already happening, Yu-Jin thinks it'll be alright if it's for the better. And if a pearl in the mud appears before him, with his skill, Yu-Jin will polish them and make them shine. Yu-Jin runs toward a long-haired person in a white shirt and black bag worn in front. Yes, wear your bag in front of you if there's a crowd. As Yu-Jin reaches him, Yu-Jin grasps at the person's arm, and Yu-Jin's skill indicates that the person is Myung-Woo-Yu, an F rank awakened with a potential F rank. And Myung-Woo-Yu has an unlockable optimal skill that is double S rank. A new OP target was found. And wow, a double S rank. Is there also a triple S rank? Myung-Woo-Yu asks who he is, and Yu-Jin activates his acting skills and speaks cheerfully. Yu-Jin acts like the two were long-lost friends, and he introduces himself. The confused Myung-Woo-Yu says that he can't remember. Don't worry, dude, you really don't know this weirdo. Yu-Jin says it's okay, since it's been ages since they last met. Deep inside, Yu-Jin thinks that they actually never met before. At the same time, Yu-jin checks out Myung-woo's unlockable double S-grade skill. It's called the Master of the Golden Smithy, and it's a crafting skill. With a double S-grade, Yu-jin is sure that Myung-woo can create double S-rank equipment, which costs a fortune. Yu-jin had never seen anyone with this skill before the reset. If Yu-jin helps Myung-woo unlock this skill, everyone will flock to them with money bags. Looking at Myung-woo, Yu-jin thinks the slouched, tired-looking man is a walking gold mine, though he really doesn't look the part. Yu-jin asks Myung-woo how he has been, and if he got his awakening. Like you don't know. Myung-woo says he did, but he only got an F rank. It may be only F, but it can still get a modest subsidy. Yu-jin calls him a buddy and says that he's also an F rank. He then asks Myung-woo if he wants to get basic hunter training with him. Myung-woo rejects it, saying he's only there for the subsidy, and the essential training costs money. As an F rank, no one will hire him. He's broke right now. Yu-jin grasps Myung-woo's hand with both of his and says he should come with him to get the training for free at his guild. This confuses Myung-woo, and Yu-jin says he'll put a good word for Myung-woo. It's that smell of nepotism again. Suddenly, Yu-jin was grabbed by an angry Song-han. Song-han reminds Yu-jin that the training is only for guild members. Yu-jin makes a face saying that the guild can afford to give a freebie to his friend. Still angry, Song-han tells Yu-jin to follow the rules. Yu-jin convinces Myung-woo that he deserves it. These words of encouragement make Myung-woo cry, asking if he really deserves it. Myung-woo cries loudly, shocking both Song-han and Yu-jin. Yu-jin gives Myung-woo a cup of coffee. The sun is already setting, and Myung-woo has finally calmed down. Myung-woo says it has been so long since anyone has been so nice to him. Myung-woo always had a knack for building things, which had won him awards. But as he grows old, these things won't matter, and one has to focus on studying. And Myung-woo is terrible at studying, and his family can't afford to support him. With everything happening in his life, he got into debt, and now he has nowhere to go. Let me give you a pat on the head and a hug, Myung-woo. Yu-jin looks down, saying he knows how it feels. The times may have changed, but the people didn't. People still discriminate. They won't be welcome if one doesn't have powerful combat skills or healing skills. Yu-jin contemplates how people believe achieving success means following one set of tracks, and how you'll get stuck in the dirt even with a hidden skill. Yu-jin thinks this happened to Myung-woo in the past, but he never heard of Myung-woo because of this. This time, Yu-jin believes he can change everything. Yu-jin stands up and curses. He encourages Myung-woo that the two of them should stop worrying about what others may think. He tells Myung-woo to raise his head and stop slouching, or he'll end up paying for back surgery. With arms stretched up high, Yu-jin then yells that he loves himself and that people may not know it yet, but he is extraordinary. Yu-jin looks back at Myung-woo and says they should keep telling themselves these kinds of things, and Yu-jin tells Myung-woo, "I love you." Great job in inserting the keywords Yu-jin. Myung-woo looks at Yu-jin with awe and thanks him. The system announces that Myung-woo has responded to Yu-jin's keyword and is now under the care of Yu-jin. From there, Yu-jin thought it would be smooth sailing from there, but what he received for an answer was a strict no. Shimyong-sok, the director of human resources for Heian Guild, explains that the guild can't offer free training to a complete stranger. Yu-jin pleads to let it go just this once. Shimyong explains that they can't do that because people will complain about why the guild would offer such a privilege to some rags. Rags for now. The insult makes Myung-woo pale, and Yu-jin admonishes Shimyong for saying such words. Shimyong answers that these might be what people will say. Yu-jin once again pleads, saying Myung-woo is the real deal. The HR director admits that Yu-jin did discover Ms. Park, but it might also have been a fluke. Shimyong fixes his glasses with his middle finger, making Yu-jin yell at him. He'll be sorry in the future, Shimyong. Tired of the conversation, Shimyong tells Yu-jin that it hasn't been a week since he fell for a scam. He also tricked his brother to let him stay in the guild, and now he's committing nepotism. Yeah, nepotism. With the guild's best interest in his mind, Shimyong questions Yu-jin's motives. Myung-woo worries for Yu-jin, thinking that Yu-jin is receiving all these insults because of him. It's not you, Myung-woo. In Shimyong's eyes, Yu-jin is acting super sus. Unable to take it anymore, Myung-woo tells Yu-jin to stop and dashes away from the director's office. Outside the guild, Yu-jin scratches his head and curses Director Sok. At the same time, Myung-woo only comments on how scary the director is. Hesitant to let things go just like this, Yoo-jin says he'll contact his brother, but Myung-woo stops him, saying that it was enough to know that he is valued. With Yoo-jin's encouragement, he will keep on trying whatever he can. Myung-woo then says there's a place that offers job for F-rankers, and they are coming right now to pick him up. A black van stops in front of them, as Myung-woo said it. The van door opens and a bunch of thug-like people are inside. The men inside exclaim that Myung-woo can pay his debt since he is now a hunter. Myung-woo really shouldn't trust people that easily. Myung-woo thanks Yoo-jin and says he'll make an honest living. Yoo-jin's face sweats with horror while keeping a smile. Unlike Myung-woo, Yoo-jin thinks that this is very sketchy. We need to save Myung-woo.